Senor Kevon, are you going to give our recap like usual?
Oh, you just volunteered. Thanks. Hit it, man.
Mm-mm. I didn't volunteer shit.
Now remember, when you volunteer people, you get voluntold.
Sir, I asked a question, not volunteer.
Oh my god, we went through a cave, right? we went through a power station, and we met a new friend. I don't remember his name. I remember he is made of goo.
Yeah.
Glorzo. We fought a Glorzo. That's it. Thank you. We fought a guy that was. We fought an incel who was just looking for attention.
That's kind of rude.
I'm sorry. he was a spirit that was corrupted by the loneliness of losing all of his kin, all that reset stuff, and then we all. What's up?
He just really wanted a hug, bro.
He just really wanted a hug, and then we all went downstairs with Mr. Glorzo, and he was dripping down. We found a giant fuck off dwarven machine thing that was like just skimming along the walls. We touched something, made it very angry. Kevin Ryland made friends with it, so that was cool. We also stumbled across what looked to be a giant spider nest, and we were very not okay with that. So we decided to go south and fought fire lizards that really were not fun to fight.
Just to save Hank, who is apparently a fucking
right.
Yeah.
Right. And then we found out that Hank is not indeed Brad Pitt, which is super sad. And we ventured a little on looking for shelter to rest for a little bit after that fight, and we found a giant glowing crystal.
You also forgot about your mini vacation cat.
Oh yeah, and Ryland fucking banished me, so that was cool. Cat is still reeling from that. What's that?
You earned airline miles from that, so no, it wasn't all.
You know, as soon as I find a travel agency to redeem those points, I will be sure to treat everyone to a trip far away from this place.
Beach episode number 2.
Beach episode.
Can we just have a series of beach episodes? A mini adventure with the boys and girls?
Let's take a break from the ongoing quest to save the realm and have a beach episode.
Yeah, there has to be a Crimea here. I hear it's beautiful this time of year.
I have to say, I like that. After everything else that you guys have encountered, the spider thing was the thing that you guys noped out on.
Not today.
I appreciate that.
Really don't like spiders.
Oh, yeah.
And these
That's
are
right,
like
so
weird
ridiculous.
spider
Can you
moth
imagine,
things.
Anthony, we fought the spiders and then fought the little serpents?
Yeah, yikes. That would have.
We
You'd be fine.
TPK immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys have really been. You've been really put through the ringer on this dungeon.
We got done for the party to get eaten.
I don't know how many spell slots you guys have left. Poor casters are probably like
Not a lot, man.
Counting
Not a
them.
lot.
counting them on one hand.
We have enough.
Oh, don't worry, I'm fine.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Um,
this came action surge.
Fuck you, man. I heard you use action surge to kill the big lizard, the big electricity lizard.
Hey, let Anthony talk.
let me talk. I don't know, man. You did manage to defeat the two giant, terrifying centipede-like monstrosities that nearly ate your friend, or you thought he was your friend. Um, and proceeded into the next area. And that's exactly where we left off. You are in, well, in a hallway, rather, a corridor, looking into a room that glows with a brilliant but threatening red light. And those of you near the front can probably glimpse some sort of gigantic crystal that is embedded into a large base in the floor. And it seems to be crackling with arcane energies. Uh, you do, however, perhaps have the more pressing issue of figuring out just who this so called Hank character is, after all. As he is standing right in front of you and looking very not Brad Pitt like at the moment. Get you over there.
So who begins in this kind of situation? Do we begin? Do you begin? Do you explain or do we ask? What is courtesy here?
Uh, well, I mean, I have to admit, it's not a situation I normally find myself in, so I don't know the proper procedures here. But I'll go with this. You did save my life, uh, undoubtedly saved me from certain consumption there. Uh, so I'll go first. How does that sound?
All right.
We're waiting.
Right. Uh, well, where's my spooky music? 1 second.
Time's ticking there, Hank.
Hank's just looking through his playlists. He's like, hold on.
He's got to find the right tunes on his
Hang on.
iPod.
He's using the little wheel. He's scrolling on his little iPod. um, he he looks at each of you and he's like, "Look, I gotta confess, I don't really feel that comfortable with y'all looking at me like this. Would you mind if I just just give me 1 second here?" And he does this weird little like shiver of his body, and you see everything shift and move around on his face. He grows a nose. His skin takes on a more uh, healthy looking pallor. And a couple seconds later, the Hank that you know is standing in front of you.
Mhm.
It's like, look, it's not really customary for you know, uh, folks like myself to be, kind of undressed like that around people. Um, it's why we usually make a strong effort to remain conscious around other folks. But turns out that when you get uh, snapped up and uh, gobbled by a giant bug monster thing, you might not have a lot of choice in that. So, uh, where do I begin? Uh, I guess with the obvious. Well, I'm not human, as you can tell. More of a sort of a shapeshifter sort of folk. People like to call us doppelgangers. Uh, and I suppose it's a name that works well enough. But we're very good at that, shape shifting and moving around unseen, unknown. It's a certain talent of ours. Uh, and I've employed that talent, as any of you good folk do with your skills. You're born with a gift. Why not use it to make some cash? So that's what I've been doing. A little bit of espionage, a little bit of, you know, uh, this and that. You get around, do different things. It's nothing that you folks need to worry about. Our paths have crossed in a most fortunate way for both of us, I like to think.
Give us a solid reason we should trust you.
Should trust me. Well, I mean, have I led you astray on anything so far?
You mean besides who you are?
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Do I really know who any of you are either?
He did do the bunny ears when he said his name, did he not? So it was kind of implied. I mean, it explains a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. Lying about
You didn't really know
name,
who I was before, and you still don't know who I am. So
lying about your name versus your entire face is a little different.
Did he ever tell us what he's doing down here?
Nope.
Yeah, he told us he was trying to get
I
this
thought-
coin and collect
yeah.
payment.
He said he's trying to collect payment.
Yeah, he's trying to
from
get
the
this-
matriarch.
Yep.
Indeed, that part's true.
Okay.
I was in fact employed by the matriarch of Clan Torgrim to assist with the capture of one of her clan members by the mortal hand. A certain mission which I ran into you folks in the midst of. And even though we didn't exactly work together, I think that we assisted in the sharing of information. And it all turned out for the best on both sides. So we have a history of a good working relationship. He says, kind of looking at Vengeance, like, there, that's why you should trust me. And
Have
and,
you?
yeah, collecting payments. That's why I'm here. So, turns out to be the worst worst possible time to be tempting to do something like that. However, maybe also the best possible time, because if the matriarch is about to be, apprehended by the forces of the Fey Queen, well, it's going to be awful hard to extract payment from her at that point. So,
I don't really care if you want to wear your party dress. Just get out of the way. I'm tired. I want to sit down. I'm sick of this hallway.
Seven, there's kind of an issue past that, bud.
Yes, we don't have a place to make coffee. We should make coffee. Yes, while we rest.
Is there an issue? Is it just glowing, or is it doing other stuff?
I thought he said last time it was like actually shooting electric arcs across the room.
crackling with
Yeah.
arcane energy that seems to be like grounding off of it to the room around it, hitting the walls, the floor, the ceiling. It doesn't exactly look stable.
Yeah, it'd be coffee in there for the arcing.
I think you might be
Yeah.
better at handling this current issue, Seven. This looks pretty arcanical, if you ask me.
So,
Did you make Did you say current, like electricity pun?
I said arcanical.
You said before that current. I thought you were going for the electricity.
Uh,
pun.
Oh, I was.
Question:
I said it now.
Could we just turn it off? Should we turn it off? I feel like it's something we should turn off. Should
We've
not
messed with
turn
most
off?
things.
is there anything that would kind of act as a like a lightning rod for arcane energy? Does Seven know of anything like that?
Well, why don't you give me an Arcana check? Not for that specifically, but for what you're dealing with here. Excellent. I don't even know why I bother asking for Arcana checks from you. It's like, unless you roll a 1, you probably know. But I guess that's the point in having a plus 10 in the skill, isn't it? I mean, you are looking at what's happening here. This sort of raw, unbounded energy. It looks like, from what you can see over Hank's shoulder. I mean, I can get out of the way if you want. Would you prefer I get out of your way? I can mosey on down to the back if you're comfortable with me being at the rear.
Seven stares at him for a moment. I don't know if he can tell, but Seven is strongly considering just shoving him into the room. But eventually he just nods gruffly.
It's not my intention to be in the way or anything. Excuse me, sure, pardon me. Come through there. So just getting back here. Oh, we're back in this room. I don't like it back here.
As he passes by, Cat hands him like a coffee pot, and it says, "Make coffee for us, please."
Coffee. I
Any
mean,
good business partner would.
any fire around here? Something to heat?
Yeah, figure it out. And she walks off.
I'll take that into consideration. All right, Seven. You step up a little further, get a better view of the room. From what you can understand, this is something pretty close to raw magic that you're dealing with here. From what you understand of the crystals, the other parts of this this station that you've encountered, you believe these giant red stones, these crystals, are designed to like contain and hold this energy and then discharge it when necessary. However, it looks like this one is getting over full. It's spilling beyond its capacity. I believe you said something along the lines of it's like a water skin but
Right.
instead of water, it's magic. Well, this is a water skin that is overflowing beyond its capacity, and the magic is indeed likely to be dangerous, with who knows what effects if it was to make contact with you. What would it ground to? Well, probably not necessarily anything like an object per se, but it would likely be drawn to a spirit, whether it's a spirit still contained within a living body or a spirit of the dead or anything like that. These sorts of things, they're beings of the tides, especially spirits that are not bound to a mortal form, are creatures of the tides of magic, and so you think such a thing would act as a locus for all of this.
Does that sound dangerous to Seven though? What would happen to this spirit? Would it just turn into like a monster or something?
What precisely would happen is hard to guess. It probably wouldn't be good for the spirit. And it would probably not be good for any living body that the spirit happened to be inhabiting.
This is problematic.
Well, why do you say that, sir?
I can't think of any safe way we can approach this device. It would probably warp our spirits or something.
What would be required for us to safely pass on there?
Well, imagine you have a water skin, and no, forget that. It's
No, I like that one.
it needs to discharge somehow. We need a sink or a valve or something that can draw out the energy so it doesn't explode.
And what exactly would do that?
Unfortunately, I know of nothing that could do that. Magical energy, magic of the tides, is drawn to spirits, but to throw a spirit into this chamber, it's unpredictable what the result could be.
Do you guys think Brian's a spirit technically?
Sounds like a spirit. At this point, he doesn't really have a body, just a brain in a jar.
There's gotta be some sort of person in there, right?
I would defer to you, Ryland, on the precise nature of spirits, but I imagine that the sort of spirits we're talking about are something easily controlled. I'm not sure we want to trust what Brian would do with 75 tons of magical energy.
Well, he'd probably just make vengeance run off again.
So this all this needs is some sort of spirit to funnel the energy into the water, into the bag.
You know, Ryland, isn't that your whole shtick? Summoning, celestials and shit. Can't you just put one in there?
I don't really know if the spirits I summon are, conduits.
What about your ball of force thingy? Can you put that around it and contain the energy, or does it not work like that?
I feel like that would just explode.
I don't know how that can work.
I could try to contain it for 10 minutes or so, but to do so, I would need a very long rest. I'm exhausted.
We've been through a lot.
I'm running on empty.
I mean, that might work. I could put a ball around it, probably.
Would this thing? And she holds up the crystallized grace. This thing wouldn't do that, right? Would that be even a good idea? That doesn't sound like a good idea. I should just put this back.
I mean, might be worth a try. What's the word that happened? It goes big bull?
I guess you have to ask if you want to lose it.
A spirit is different than something that is sentient or even conscious.
Doesn't
It's a particular type of being. I'm not sure we can rely on the interaction of, for example, the Fey Queen's essence with this device.
Isn't an essence the same thing as a spirit? I don't really know how this whole thing works.
Right.
Exactly.
But,
I don't really know, so shut the fuck up.
It was a
yes.
question, you angry little gremlin.
Okay. And besides the point, I don't think we should go randomly throwing things willy-nilly into a room like that. That doesn't seem like a good thing to do. But do we most likely need to pass by to find any sort of respite?
I mean,
So
I can try putting it in the ball first, and if that doesn't work, we can go from there. Seems kind of like a no harm, no foul. Nothing
See what
can really
happens.
pass through it.
I imagine that there's only 2 people amongst the rest of you that could do anything about this. So, Ryland, if you have any ideas, please.
Like I said, I can put my little hamster ball around it, or I can summon, the celestial being. Which one do you think would work best in this scenario? It's one or the other. There's no, I can't do both of them. It's just one.
I mean, Seven just stares at you. You're the spirit expert. He's really not sure how your type of magic works, right?
Do you want to make a religion check, Ryland?
Yes. So surprisingly
You're not great at that? I mean, a +5 isn't bad, but it's not as good as I thought it would be. That's honestly. You don't have proficiency in religion?
No, I do.
Are you not that wise?
No, I'm not that smart. I'm very.
Religion is
Oh, it's
in.
intelligence based. That's right. It's intelligence based. Okay. Well, you're pretty sure that your summoned celestial spirit would do the trick, but you don't know what would happen to it.
That sounds kind of worse, honestly.
No.
Would it be a crime to Eldaf to
No, no.
zap her spirit?
Listen, we got a job to get done. Eldaf would, not see it as a slight to do what needs to be done in this
I
scenario.
think it's worth a shot.
Worst case scenario. Say it turns on, starts trying to attack. I'll just, drop the spell. Kind of like it dropped vengeance from the sky.
Is there like any control panel we might be able to hit something with to try to like calm it down, or
I think we would have to get into the room.
Yeah, okay, guys. Everyone just, maybe put vengeance in
Everyone-
front. Just in case.
Oh, Vengeance loves being in the front.
I already don't like how this goes.
And he'll pull his little side book out, flip to the page, and he'll do his little summon celestial. And it'll be the Avenger.
Didn't we already do this celestial spirit?
Once, yeah.
There it is. From Tasha's Cauldron. It's a very naked looking guy. Large, naked,
And I'm putting it in the back of the room.
with a tastefully placed
Like,
cloth.
Shield your eyes, Vengeance. This is not for children.
And you
put it in the back. You might want to stay up here, Seven, in case, weird arcane things happen so you can observe.
I trust you, Ryland.
Oh, well, okay, hold on. Vengeance, you take another step up. And then I'll move up and Seven will get behind me. Gotta make sure Seven can see.
You want me to take a knee too while I'm at it?
Okay. You're fine. You're sure enough.
Alright. Ryland, you call upon the magic of Eldaf. You summon a spirit, one of Eldaf's harbingers, and summon it right into the room there. You can see the magic coalescing, and the spirit appears, and almost immediately all of those red arcs of energy jump to make contact with the spirit. The spirit lets out a wordless cry as its eyes glow with brilliant beams of red energy that shoot out of it. It opens its mouth in a silent scream, and more of that red light shoots out. You can see the energy seeming to build up in its body, running through its flesh like veins that glow brighter and brighter and brighter. And after about let's see here. Yeah, almost immediately. Within 6 seconds, it explodes.
There's still arcing light.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Well,
I'm sorry, did the large naked man just explode?
Rylan, is that okay for you?
Yeah, it's fine. You, you know, yeah. Have seen that happen before. I didn't drop the spell, so that's real interesting.
Mm.
A real visual picture of what would happen to all of us.
Yes, that was terrifying.
So,
Maybe we could get a big stick and just, I don't know, like push a button? Is there a button we can push? Get pushing.
okay, I can see part of this control panel here. If I like lean my head out just a little bit, can I see the rest of it without getting vaporized?
Maybe we
know.
shouldn't let somebody with mage hand do
Vengeance,
that.
that's a good question. That's a good question.
Make it,
How
you
far into the room can you go before this thing grounds to you?
oh, sir,
Forgot-
I said like a few inches, not like.
You wanna,
Jesus
you wanna,
Christ.
how many inches in would you like to lean?
Like,
Get a
like
better-
enough for one eye to see past the corner of the doorway.
How big are you? Oh, wait. Can't it like aren't your horns like poking out a little bit?
They go straight back. All right, so it's good.
I see your art and they definitely poke up and out. Up and back.
Fine. Leave my horns alone, okay? Just don't.
Vengeance, you can definitely see some sort of control panel that's clearly attached by a conduit to this this platform that holds the crystal. I would need a geez, I don't even know what I would need. I mean, you can see it, but it's hard to interpret it. I suppose I would need some sort of, maybe like an investigation check to see if you can't discern anything about its function.
Uh, 16 tell me anything?
Uh, 16. From over here, it's a little hard to say. There's a number of buttons and dials, and some sort of large display. That's what these things seem to be, some sort of magical display. You've seen a few of them now, this glowing green glass display, and it's got some sort of uh, like line that's ticking across it, and the line is zigzagging wildly up and down as it goes. It seems to be some sort of uh, measure of the energy going through the crystal. You might notice that when this line sort of spikes and peaks up at the highest point of it, there's like an extra bright glow from the crystal, and then when it drops back down, it's a little bit dimmer. So the two seem to be related. It doesn't seem unreasonable to think that there's some sort of way to shut it down over there. If it's monitoring the amount of power that's going through the crystal, then perhaps there's a way to control the amount of power going through it. But you don't see like a convenient off switch. Not that you would even know what to look for, since it would be labeled in Dwarven.
All right, I'm like imagining I'm like pressed up against the wall, like slightly leaning over, like there's some type of control panel to the left. Looks like it's bugging out really bad. Probably why the crystal's going like this. Any suggestions there?
We even use to get to it. Like, do we have a a mage hand or a... I have the arms.
I was about to say, is your astral arms considered a spirit type thing?
She is a spirit. Tari is
I
her
thought-
own spirit. But
Um,
Maybe not the best idea. But I think we are moving in the right direction.
I mean, I have some ball bearings I can try throwing at it to hit random buttons.
That seems maybe not random buttons, but maybe we can get a very large stick. Yes?
The problem is that this much power needs somewhere to go. Even if we shut it down, it's overflowing. It's still just going to discharge when we walk in there.
I They must have moved through this room before, yes? So that stands to reason the crystal must not have always been doing this. What? Wait a second. Why don't we ask Glorzo? Gluman.
What about the ball with razors on it?
Uh,
Kevin seemed to be able to speak to him earlier.
I don't think that thing can talk.
Oh, that's right. Didn't Kevin just talk to it? I don't think he responded back.
just like a guard.
Yeah, it just kind of responded with action and didn't actually say
Hmm.
if I remember correctly.
Look, I just don't want to go back to the spiders. Let's not go back that way.
Well, we are trying to find some respite either way. Hmm. Perhaps we can take a short little rest and then
Yeah,
then come back with a plan.
I hate to be the sort of the negative Nancy over here, but we'll point out that the Fake Queen's army did seem awful intent on getting in here, and I mean we did drop 5 cubic feet of stone and metal on them to keep them out, but no guarantee on how long it'll actually take them to get through that.
There is also the death machine, the bull, that doesn't think that they are, may not think that they are also inspectors, as we are. Yes.
You hear the clanking of the giant the giant ball as it comes over, turns suspiciously towards Cat,
Yes.
and
It's
then,
much inspecting. Very good
and then
metal.
keeps clanking by.
But he also has the point. We should probably find a way past this thing, but what do you all think?
I feel in my bones that my Corey could reach over there if we needed her to, but probably not for very long. I can feel her speaking to me.
All right, then I guess back this conga line up and let her up here.
But I still don't know what to press.
Oh,
You can take my spot up there.
it's like
It's the bigger issue is we don't we don't know what buttons.
Yeah.
What are we trying to do here?
Rylan, shouldn't you trade spots with me so you can see if you can read anything? Because I can't read Dwarvish.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you make a good point on that one. Maybe I should try and see if I can read anything in here. Is there anything in Dwarvish that I'm able to read by copying Vengeance's movement to peak?
Anything you can read in Dwarvish.
That may speed this process up.
Let's see. Well, vengeance already sort of identified. Well, it looks like it controls things a little bit, controls the energy flowing in and out of it, or at least monitors it in some way. With your ability to read Dwarvish,
Oh, I can't.
you um you can in fact see that there appears to be a sort of scale that is indicating how much energy is being put through into it. Um, it actually looks like it's this little bit over here. If you can see that, there's like a bar that's illuminated from blue, and then the color kind of shifts all the way to red. And there's a little blinking indicator that's all the way at the tippity top end of the red. Um, with your understanding of dwarven, it looks like there are a couple of dials that can be turned that indicate they would adjust the the throughput, the, shall we call it, magical flux.
Yeah, Nimue, it looks like there's a little dial in here that we're gonna have to turn down to calm this thing down some. It's controlling the throughput of the device. It looks like.
Is it on like the near side or the far side?
It's over here. There's a little dial you'd have to turn. And assuming the dwarves do it like we do, it's lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Right. Oh, she would say out loud to herself, like, I don't want to hurt you, but I feel like we should try, just for a split second. Okay, I'll try and turn the me up there, Ryland.
Yeah, you go ahead.
How many key points do I have? It's just like 6. Okay. Real fast. I'm gonna look at the dial, and I'm gonna try and like throw Tari's arm out there and like grab it and turn it. Lefty loosey, I suppose.
Okay.
Figured I'll cast those a little.
You summon the arms then?
Yeah.
Summon the arms. And you reach them into the room towards the panel. The second that you do, that energy begins arcing over to make contact with the arms. And you hear something that you've never encountered before, never heard before, which is the sound of your quarry screaming in your head. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
I believe in us. I believe you can do this.
Part of the cards.
Are the cards?
You reach out, and even as you can see this buildup of energy that is like worming its way through the arms and slowly filling them up, overloading them, you turn the dial, and you can see that the brilliant glow of the crystal begins to fade. But at the same time, the arm that you're using to reach out bursts and explodes with energy.
I feel like she would panic. She'd start asking in her head, like, Tari, are you okay? Are you still alive? What happened? Are you with me still?
Nimue, I need you to roll me
God.
a d4.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Risks.
That's about as well as it could have gone. You don't hear a response. And you feel strangely fuzzy in your mind. As if some part of you that you had become so accustomed to, something you had taken completely for granted, is suddenly gone. And you can't quite think straight without her.
Honestly, I don't know what she would do. I guess I imagine her like putting her hand against the wall to like steady herself and then slowly like sliding to the ground, like can't even think straight. Doesn't even know what to make of it. Like in denial, like scared. She would just be staring forward. Maybe she start breathing really hard, almost hyperventilating.
Rylan, what's going on up there?
Maybe she'd just say like, she's gone. She's gone. I can't. She's not here.
Something not
I'm
good happened
done.
with Nimue.
Nimue, you have taken 2 points of damage to your wisdom score.
Shit.
What?
Oops. Well, that's a little worse than I thought it would be. Ooh. For forevers, right?
Unless I say otherwise.
Jeez. Jesus.
Man. Ooh.
God, we are an hour into the session.
Holy fuck, bro.
Need to recalculate my armor class and things. Shit.
It does, however, seem that adjusting that dial on the control panel has changed something about the energy in the room. Even though the crystal continues to glow a dull, ominous red, it is no longer arcing energy all over the place.
Rylan, my Corey's a part of my soul. I can't feel her.
Has that ever happened to you before?
No. Been with me ever since I was born.
Well, I mean, I know a lot about spirits and things, but I gotta be honest, I don't know much about Corys or anything. You say it's never happened before, duh.
I think it's like the angel. I think she's gone.
That's nonsense. It's not gone anywhere. Rylan, just do some kind of spirit heal thing.
Yeah, it's, that was not really in my wheelhouse, Seven. I can do a lot of things. I can't really heal something I can't see.
That crystal damaged her soul? Is that what she just said?
Again, a spirit is a separate entity from a soul. Oh, you know what? It's fine. Ryland, I know you're going to figure this out. You're going to figure out a way to help her. There must be something you know about spirits that can help.
I guess it is kind of different. She's, this sounds so weird, but she's an alien. She was, a spirit from her world. She's a warrior, a fighter. Like, of course, she would tell me that she wants to help and throw herself in there. She was fused with me. I don't know if she can come back. I might just be me. I might be alone in here.
Does it seem like the lightning strikes have calmed down in the room?
They have. Yes, the crystal seems to have calmed down significantly. It's no longer it doesn't look nearly so unstable. It's just kind of glowing and pulsing a dull red.
Well, Seven's gonna shove his way in then, clearly concerned about Nimue. Does Seven have any tea? Does anybody have any tea?
Hank, how's that coffee coming?
Yeah.
It's close enough to tea, I guess.
Yeah, see, I figured out a funny little trick to get it heated up, and well, I maybe don't really care about that right now. Here, coffee for your troubles. I'm sorry about your alien.
Thank you, Hank. She would hold on to the.
I don't know. It's whatever Cat gave. It's probably like a little tin cup or something.
Yeah. Holy shit. Somebody fucking hug Nimue!
Ask if she wants a hug first.
Oh,
Imagine I'm so close to just slapping you across the face. Cat is going to hug Nimue.
coffee on one hand, cat on the other.
Holy shit. Are you going to be okay?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, uh, um, come. Get out of the hallway. Come sit.
Come in the corner. I'm just gonna have to see what happens next. What are we going to do next? At least at work.
Nimue, you don't look well. We're not doing anything until you've had some time to collect yourself.
Maybe we can hold up here or something.
Cat will just slide down on the wall next to Nimue and just kind of. Is there any way maybe another Cory could go and look for her?
Maybe I wish I could talk to my master. I wish I could ask him what to do.
And Rylan, can you do that Sendy thing and maybe talk to her master for her?
I'm a little spent right now.
Yeah. Maybe when we get out of here, we can try and see if he knows anything.
Yes. I'm sure everything is okay. But sit. Just take it easy.
I've got this door covered behind me if someone wants to get the one across the way and stay in where we came from to make sure we don't get snuck up on.
Yeah, Vengeance, you approach that door. You can see it has a little glowing button next to it.
No, I'm literally just staying against it, staring at the crystal.
Okay. I'm just saying. It's got a little glowing
Nope,
button, but you can stare at the
nope.
crystal.
Sad times. No pressy button.
You can see Hank kind of pacing back and forth, clearly looking antsy. Like he looks for a moment like he's about to say something and then goes quiet, just keeps pacing.
Spit it out, Hank.
Just just saying we're on a clock here, that's all, folks.
Yeah, well, we'd be in a little better spot, you know, if you hadn't been ate.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna, maybe I can just get a little bit ahead. Look, you folks can stay here and do whatever you need to do for your friend, and maybe I'll just take a peek down the hall and
If you
see.
reach for that button, I will stab you through the heart.
Right. Well, I won't do that. I'll just go back to pacing. And meanwhile, Glorzo comes oozing into the room, and he kind of kneels down, except he's made of goo, so he mostly just sort of slumps down to a lower height, and he says,
I'm very sorry to hear what has happened to you, my friend. I know what it is like to lose something dear to you, namely my body. But I assure you, you will find a way to carry on.
Thank you, Glorzo. It's very sweet. You know what? What were you before? You said, weren't you? Didn't you say you were a
I
humanoid?
was a dwarf, a worker here at the station. Much have I lost since then, and yet other things have been gained.
You can do a lot with your ooze form. Thank you. Maybe maybe we will figure it out.
My spirit found its way back to this world and coalesced upon the goo. Perhaps your quarry friend will find a way back to you.
This world is strange. Maybe and spirits are strange here. Maybe you're not too wrong. Maybe she could find her way back to us somehow. Hopefully,
I
uh,
I
maybe
have
we.
no idea, but I hope it makes you feel better.
and he oozes
You
off.
didn't. You didn't have to add that close.
Who is
Oh,
okay? It'd be weird to see Tari walk up to us as a goo thing. Goonamoy. Strange. Kind of want some tea for real, for real. So I'll be right back.
So, while Scarlet is getting some real tea, where does this leave you guys? What are your intentions here?
I believe the intention is to try to do some type of rest here.
Well, we've already done short rests at this point. It's kind of like long rest or bust.
Well, let's long rest then, not bust.
I'm in favor of long rest as well.
Could we maybe set up more barriers or traps or something, or just to keep the Fey Queen's army at bay as we attempt to rest? Because 8 hours, that's a long fucking time. Like they're
Is
gonna make some serious progress in 8 hours.
the only way I can think of is only thing I can think of is if we make that whole hallway cold again, but then we have to get back through it, and also maybe destroying the bridge we came across back here. But I don't have anything to do that.
Is there any chance I could roll some kind of like wisdom check to see if we're safe here for 8 hours for a long rest? I feel like we
Yeah,
get
this
into
would be a,
puzzle territory here.
this would be a perfect role for knowledge dungeoneering if they had that in this edition. Um, you can give me just a straight wisdom check.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, the real problem, Ryland, you can speculate all you want about what lies behind you, and you know that there is literally an army behind you, which it seems is doing its best to advance this way. You don't think that 8 hours. Well, you don't think that they'll be delayed by 8 hours by the obstacles behind them, considering you were able to push through most of them yourselves. Um, Although, of course, your average soldier is probably not going to stand up to some of the dangers you faced along the way, although you have killed and destroyed a lot of the dangers. Um, the bigger problem in answering that question is that you don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know what's through any of those doors. There could be more of those strange constructs waiting to march out and attack you or come sneaking out of vents or whatever like they did before. There could be nothing, but you don't know. Could be
Look,
more of those strange monsters that want to hug you.
Really good time to have a pillow party.
Yeah.
look, I know I don't have the best history with doors, but if it's better for someone to go scout ahead, I can go around through this door behind me and see what's ahead.
I, I will go with you. I was not too injured in the fight, and I still have some strength in me. Um, I don't know if it is the best idea to separate. Seems like a terrible idea, but we might as well see what is ahead.
While we go through this door, Hank and Glorzo, you guys want to check that door?
I can seal the door behind us. If that would help.
Out of character, I thought, how would you seal that? The same spell from before, or?
Yeah, I'm a metal mage. I'm just gonna tear some metal out of the wall and shove it into a big metal brick.
I mean, I suppose I can look ahead, if that's what you want me to do. And if I've got this Glorzo fellow to back me up, then maybe it will be all right.
Oh, those are such famous last words. I don't like this.
I mean, I can not. Also, I can just stay here.
How about we can do all of that? We can have 7 barricade the door, even that entire passage as best he can while we go scout ahead. Any sign of trouble or issue, we all just vacate back here. Is that a reasonable plan for everyone?
Well, we have most people needing to rest for a moment. Limited scouting. Yes.
Ryland, do you have any issues with it?
So you guys go ahead. I'll just be resting.
All right. With that, I guess I'll open the door.
And it slides open rapidly, and find yourself looking down a hall. Hank will open the door on the other side. And there's another hall. I'll see you on the other side, one way or the
At
other.
the first, at the first instance of trouble, use our special passcode. It is watermelon.
Whoa. Right, I'm not going to ask, but I will use it.
Just scream it. We will come round. Come on, Tovash, let's go.
As we get up towards this corner, I'm gonna sneak up, I guess. Trying to not make any noise.
You picked the wrong person to be with. Trying to be stealthy.
Yeah. You can give me... Oh, you gave me a stealth check. Great. You round the corner and find another door.
Yeah, another door, cat.
You've already made it this far, Tovash.
I'm gonna press it.
And you look forward into a rectangular room about 30 feet long or so. It's decidedly more pleasant than most of the facility that you've come through so far, and in better condition, you dare say. It is old and dusty, and you see what look like ancient cobwebs, so heavily laden with dust that they almost look like sheer drapes just hanging off of the uh, the the walls here and there. But what you're looking into is undoubtedly a library. You see wooden floors and wooden shelves loaded with tomes, as well as an ancient, somewhat decrepit looking sofa, a small table, and some books that someone must have left out centuries ago.
Well, we don't have a good history with couches, so with that in mind, can I see any like traps around the room or anything?
Yeah, give me a perception check. No obvious signs of danger, but you do spot several sets of footprints that run through the dust in this room, seeming to have come from the door where you stand and crossing right over to the other side.
I'm gonna do my best to just literally step in the same footprints as I start crossing the room.
Okay. Footprints are kind of stubby but broad, and the floorboards creak and groan under your weight as you walk.
Cat's just gonna passively look at some of the titles? Are any of them in common or in any language you can understand?
You would probably recognize the writing of Dwarven, but you don't know how to read it.
We got 2 hallways up ahead, Cat.
Okay.
Uh,
No, this is suspiciously not connecting to the left.
okay. I point to the 2 hallways, asking Cat which way she wants to go.
Uh, uh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Tiger by the toe. Right. Go right.
And I'm gonna do that little deep breath, and I'm gonna press the button.
You press the button.
This is a very ornate rug, and a lot of
And
fire.
you see a very ornate rug. There is a rather large somehow vengeance. You get the sense that this is an antechamber, a room that leads into another room. Um, it is the stone floor is cushioned by an incredibly ornate, though somewhat faded looking rug. Um, as well as 4 grand braziers which burn with brilliant light, sending up gouts of flame and sparks towards the ceiling. Strangely, though, they do not produce any smoke or any apparent heat.
I'm gonna look back at Cat. We should go check the other door first.
I am inclined to agree. I will lead the way on this one. Sword in hand, she's gonna press a button if there is a button to be pressed.
Press the button.
Oh, look at this.
I see another rug, Cat. That's about it.
It is an office.
Oh.
It does indeed appear to be an office, a rather grand looking one. Um, there is a desk and a plush looking chair, which admittedly has not held up well to the passage of time. Its lacquer is sort of worn, and you can see that the wood is rotted out. However, it does appear to have once been quite a fine place, lit by another one of those smokeless, heatless braziers burning in one corner, more books on the shelves, and documents on the table. Faded, yellowed from the passage of time, but still
Ad is
there.
going to grab, kind of lean over with her sword, kind of poking at the documents lightly. Then she's gonna gather them up as gently as she can and slip them into her pack.
While she does that, I'm gonna like give her like a sign that I'm opening the next door.
Oh, wait, let us do one thing at a time. It is only the 2 of us.
Okay, okay. I'll wait, I'll wait. That looks like a
The-
nice helmet on the table.
Vengeance, you're reaching for the button on the door when suddenly it slides open on its own.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh, shoot.
it's just you. I thought.
What'd you guys find?
Some sort of I don't know. Looks like a platform and a winch. Looks like it's supposed to go up and down, but we can't make it go up and down.
Winch.
You know, it's like a lift, you know.
Like
But
up above, up there.
I mean, there's a shaft that goes up, but where it goes, I don't know, and the lift doesn't work. So, well, you found yourselves a cozy little spot.
Yes, we found a library and a very ornate antechamber. Looks like it goes further down.
Um, Kat and I are gonna inspect this office a little more. Can y'all run back and get everyone else?
Oh, wait, Glorzo. You can read documents in Dwarvish.
Yes, of course I can.
Ah, what could you read these? So we don't have to worry about getting somebody to read them later and at a lot of time.
I suppose I can do that.
Okay.
Let me have a look here. Hmm.
All right, Hank. While he does that, can you go back and grab everyone, please?
Yeah, sure, of course, do that. Hey everyone, it's me, Hank. Uh, well, it's not Hank, but you know that's whatever. That's the name we're using right now. There's there's some other rooms up ahead, but no threats that we can see. Probably safer than being around this big old thing. So you I mean, you do what you want. You want to hang out here, you can hang out here. It's just the others sent me back to talk to you. So there you go.
If it's safe and they've scattered, maybe we should.
As he reads, we should go and see this lift, Vengeance.
You're right. I assume it's the thing I'm standing on right now.
Yep.
Is it just like the buttons in front of me there to control it?
Yeah, but when you push them and poke them, nothing happens. Told you it doesn't work.
Yeah, I think Hank's right. I think it's broken, Cat.
Okay. Anything else? Oh no, it looks like it leads all the way back down.
Yeah, I have to say, after walking both paths, you guys picked the decidedly more interesting one.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
How
How
was
is Nimue, Zaychik?
Right here.
talking like a ghost apparently? Were you guys able to barricade up anything before you came this way?
I didn't barricade anything.
What's in this?
Did you want me to?
A bit mute of a point now, I think.
I mean, I can go back and seal up the door.
Only if you think it's necessary, Seven.
Sure.
You know, I just thought of something. Since we know how to turn the crystal on and off, perhaps we can turn it back on, so it could further block invaders. But I don't know. I don't think that would be a good idea. It would also be highly dangerous, but I don't know. It's just an idea.
I think it's a little dangerous because who knows if that thing starts up immediately, whoever's in there's now red mist.
I'd be worried about that too.
Hmm.
Seven went back to cast this thing.
All right. And so do you just close a 5-foot cube in across the?
Well, I guess I didn't ask how high the ceilings were, but
Yeah, it's sufficient to block up the the hall. I mean, it might not completely close it because I assume they have to be tall enough for you guys to walk through, but it's, it might only leave like a foot ish of gap at the top that would be quite difficult for anyone to squeeze through.
cool. All right, I'll do that and then head back.
Okay. These halls were built by dwarves after all, so they probably didn't build them too tall.
Where's Ryland?
I see anything in this room, Anthony?
I mean, you see this, like I said, an antechamber that is quite ornate looking, and I don't know if I mentioned the staircase before, but I probably should because it's the major of the room. A broad staircase that descends down into the depths. It's carpeted, at least as far as you can see, and it looks rather dramatic as it continues down and then winds around a turn out of sight. But it seems to descend a good, from what you can see here, a good 30 feet down before it turns the corner.
Did you check down here, Hank?
No, did not.
Well, don't go down there yet. I was just curious. Well, what do y'all got going on back here? I just saw that staircase in the other room.
Yes. This was some sort of office. Glorzo here is so kind as to read these documents.
Did you find anything?
Yes, as I look through here. Well, they appear to be some documents regarding the operations of the station. It seems that, well, perhaps there were some unmentioned issues with Gramnir Station that were a matter of much discussion amongst the officials of Gramnir Delve. It's not something that the rank and file were made privy to, although in retrospect it seems it would have been a good idea, but it seems there were some flaws in Gramnir Station's design.
Flaws? What kind of flaws?
It appears that certain processes which were deemed safe and stable were less than that exactly. And further, there's mentions here of the source of Gramnir's energy. We were always told that it drew up thermal energy from the depths, the core of Yon. However, it appears that there's more to the story than that. Yes, there are references to seepages, overflow of an interplanar nature. It seems that Gramnir Station tapped into the elemental plane of fire.
Ooh. Ay, oh. Perhaps this is an explanation of the terrible tragedy, the destruction. Yes.
I don't know. I have long ago put aside thoughts of what happened. But perhaps there is something akin. Hmm.
You know, that might explain these weird fires that don't exactly emit smoke.
Oh no, those are just like ever-burning torches, but bigger.
Well,
Yeah, Benji.
that is good too. Yeah.
Do you not have other burning torches where you're from?
We don't use magic where I'm from, so no.
It's really pretty basic. It's essentially a glorified light spell that has been made permanent.
Look. Loizo, I'm from basically under a rock, as they like to put it in this party, so we don't use that.
I am from
I-
literally under rock.
Same, but different.
Multiple rocks, in fact. And I don't believe we've ever said anything like that. So, with that, I believe that is our path ahead, all but scouted. It looks like we have two ways forward now. We have the lift, which doesn't move, and then the stairs that go down.
I believe down is probably where our destination lies, Cat.
I'm just saying it out loud, Vengeance. You don't have to needle at everything.
I was just saying, Cat, I wasn't correcting you or needling.
Okay,
It's been a long day, okay?
it's okay.
No bickering, no bickering.
So we're going down the stairs?
Aren't we trying to take a rest?
Yeah. But do we have time?
I don't know.
I mean, it looks like Zechik, Ryland, Nimue, I believe you three very much need the rest. And perhaps getting into another place where we would all be fighting would not be the most conducive to resting. Yes? So, how about, I don't know if 8 hours is going to be really realistic when the entirety of the Fake Queen's army is nipping at their heels. Perhaps an hour's rest.
I mean, an hour's rest's not really going to do anything for me.
I think we've been going for about a day now, Cat. I think everyone's pretty tired.
At least we could heal up a little bit, possibly.
Like, if you guys want to keep going without taking a long rest, that's fine. But if we encounter like a boss fight or something, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. So, I mean, that's fine. I know some of you don't need rest and you don't care, but I mean, I don't know. I'll be pretty useless until that happens.
I'm more concerned about a bunch of bears literally breaking down the stone wall. So it's not so much that I don't care. It's more like we may end up fighting anyway with people we really don't want to tangle with and are gonna really chase us down. And I really don't want to split the party. That is like the last thing I think is a good idea.
We should all go in 4 different directions.
We'll be fine.
I feel like we're very much in between a rock and a hard place right now.
Yeah. Probably either way we choose, there's going to be consequences. So.
But one thing I did notice, well, at least Vengeance noticed it, and then I'm sure he told me, was that there were recent footprints in that library that we passed. I don't believe we've seen any evidence of the dwarves so far until now. Maybe that means we are close to our Tolgrun matriarch lady, whoever the whoever the behead is she is supposed to be, you know?
Do dwarven feet look different? Do you know they were dwarven footprints?
I mean, they were short and then they were broad. Does that mean anything to you?
They were a little stubby footprints, yeah.
So
Broad,
it could
very
be
broad.
It could be a fat child, for all we know.
What would a fat child be doing down here?
I don't know. What would lake serpents be doing down here?
Well, they were in the water.
Look, I can tell you that the footprints were definitely way more recent than everything else in here. So if it's a matter of going and figuring it out, I will gladly go down the stairs first and look if that's what the issue is.
Maybe somebody who speaks Dwarven? Yes? Oh wait, no, they can probably speak Common, yes.
Look, worst comes to worst, I peek my head down, I see they're dwarves, and that's probably more likely that they're not going to attack us because they're dwarves.
Are you able to go invisible?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
You have to take a long rest since you used it last.
No, because I used it before we even got here, and
Yeah, we haven't long rested since before we came up on the camp.
oh fuck, you're right. So I can't do it.
Never mind.
It's been a lot of encounters, guys.
Yeah.
It's been a lot
We're
of-
It's been a
not
lot.
tapped.
Yeah, it's been a lot of encounters. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Ah. I can do some stuff still, but
Why don't we just go in the room? Wait, you already sealed it behind us, didn't you? Nick? Is that entry room?
The door into the chamber with the crystal.
So we at least have a semi-block path. The only one of which, at this point, would be coming up from the stairs. And if we think the dwarves are below us, worst case, they wake us up and they're a little bit angry because they don't know who we are. We have a chance to explain ourselves. Unless the bears got down lower than us and are coming up because they've already killed everyone.
Hopefully not. But maybe we should take our chances and go down and see if they could be right there.
I'm feeling like a warlock right now.
I'm kind of just a fighter.
Look, seriously, if I go down, worst comes to worst, I don't come back up and you know not to go down. Seems like a pretty...
You are not going anywhere without backup.
Look, if you hear watermelon, then something happened.
Yeah, let's just try and take a rest. Let's just try. Does anyone object?
This is such a bad idea. But okay, you know what? Fuck it. You know, we are going to attempt, and if everything goes wrong, then everything goes wrong.
Where's Hank been this whole time?
I've just been standing in that room, looking down the staircase, wondering what's down there.
I am also wondering what's down there. I really want to go down, but
Look,
I will stop myself, and I will just sit, and I will watch.
Okay,
I have second level spell slots left, so I can turn Vengeance invisible if we want someone to go look. But that's like it. Like I've literally got absolutely nothing else.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Look, you said I couldn't go down alone, right, Kat?
Mhm.
What if Hank goes down with me?
I'm not opposed.
Uh,
I'm just saying, I've got as
Fine.
many spell slots as Vengeance has brain cells.
okay, that is
Sir, that is
rude.
0, okay?
That is rude, and I don't think putting yourself down is good. And I am not nearly awake enough for this. Okay, we all rest or we go down. 2 options. No splitting. The last time you went off and did a sneaky, you got thrown into sky. Not good.
Oh, no. That was the last time I did a sneaky with Ryland. The one before that, I met Hank.
Vengeance. Every single time you have gone off by yourself, something bad has happened.
That time I met
Well,
Hank?
yeah.
Nothing
Every single time.
I'm just gonna lay down here in this hallway.
Just go lay. Go rest, Vengeance. Just go lay.
You guys are gonna just post up in here and try to wait 8 hours?
Yeah.
I'll just I guess I'll just sit by the crystal. And I'll just wait.
All the way down by the
Such a-
crystal.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm listening to see if there are pickaxes at the door.
Well, if Kat's going that far, you ain't going alone, homie.
Oh, why? Thank you, Vengeance.
Also, because I have the, if we both fall asleep, I have the sword that wakes us up if something's there.
There you go. Oh yay! Bonding time with Vengeance.
Interesting. Okay.
Be right back.
This damn cat sees a frog on the patio and is going nuts.
I'm going to ask you guys, because I've been tracking a couple of things, but I'm curious. Maybe there's something I missed. I've been tracking anything you guys have been doing as you've been moving through here that might create impediments for the forces of General Sobel and his troops to be advancing behind you. So far, you've put up 2, I think, of Seven's blockages with his shape mineral spell.
We have, and we also pressed the door button like 7 times. That's got like a half-second trigger before coming back down now.
There's the door with the random trigger that's just going up and down wildly. I don't believe you guys ever technically actually fixed that.
Nope.
So that one is still active. And that's a good thing you pointed out because I did not remember that one, but that's true.
Also
You
have
also
the angry
Yes?
Mr. Incredible sphere.
You also have the angry Mr. Incredible sphere. This is true. You did not destroy that one, and so it is still active.
And there's a lot of fucking spiders somewhere down here.
To go in the spider room.
There's the spider room, which you guys didn't do anything with. You just ran away from.
But there's a lot of tracks leading to it.
There sure are.
It was all a misdirection, Anthony.
Well, I've got a little calculating to do. Hang on. You know what?
Math?
I know that Max stepped away. You guys can take a couple minutes. Take a couple minutes break here while I do a little figuring.
Oh, there he is.
Of course, he's back, but yeah. Take 5.
Smoke him if you got him.
I just want to say, I've been fucking around with the little AI art generator thing. There we go. And I put an ancient dwarven tunnel underneath the mountain, and this is what it created.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
That's actually really cool.
I love those things. They make such cool art.
And this is an alternate monastery.
Ah, beautiful.
I actually really like that one for
That's gorgeous.
for like your
Monastery.
your monastery of the Order of the Peacekeepers. Yeah, that's like that feels really cool. Let's see.
There it is.
You guys already short rested once down here, so that ate up some of the time. Okay.
And that last one's the best one it could do for Max's home.
Maybe I should play with that.
Visigrad.
I wonder what it'll make if I just type Visigrad.
I'm sure it will have
Pretty sure
no-
pretty sure Visigrad is actually a real place. I grabbed it off somewhere.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Let's see.
Oh, that's dope. That's what happens when you type in Visigrad.
Hey, there you go.
I wonder what happens if you type in mean dark-haired woman. Oh, that's terrifying.
You know, I wanted to see if it could create an underground city to be where Vengeance is from, and it just keeps looking something like this.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, nope, not there. Nope, stop that. This is what it generates for River Kingdoms.
Ooh. Ooh.
What would it do with like monastery on a cliff? I'm always monasteries on a ocean cliffside. I live for the RP. I risked the biscuit. A little too hard, maybe. It was fun though.
Yeah, but like half of you like is maybe dead.
Half of me may be dead, right?
Half of you may be dead.
Crazy.
That's a little intense.
That's what I got for Cliffside Monastery.
Let's see what it does for this one.
Cool. Heck yeah. There we go. That's my place.
This one might be a little better with how with the Japanese you do.
Weird. I think that'd be cool. I like to imagine all of the Empire of Isles as Japanese.
Oh no, this one's better.
Wow, those are pretty cool, Kevin. Gorgeous. Totally something like that.
So surprisingly enough, I'm hitting Tiefling to see if it actually knows what it is. It actually does know what a Tiefling is. And they're kind of weird what it's coming up with. Like, here's an example. Like, it doesn't quite know where to put horns and shit, really.
Oh, yeah. It's almost got it.
It's got the spirit.
But then it'll do like this where it won't even show like a head, but everything else is like really well designed.
You can just put it into the backstory. Say that you were born with one horn coming out of your shoulder. Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
And a scythe instead of a hand, apparently.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. I think I'm ready here. It is a dangerous prospect to try and rest at this point. You know that. But you're also in a real bad way, collectively. And so you hunker down, kind of spread out along this hall here. Some of you taking up advanced positions to try and be ready for danger. Others just doing your best to recoup and recover after the trials of an incredibly long adventuring day, as they say. With some not so simple encounters along the way. Some of the worst ones coming at the very end. An hour passes. Those of you who wish to roll hit die for a short rest can do so. Two hours pass. 3 hours. All remains quiet. The hall's empty. Cat and Vengeance, as you're sitting there, you just hear the occasional thrum of some unseen energy running through the walls, hidden, buried conduits containing this sheer, raw magic that fills the station, powers the station. But during that time, nothing. Four hours pass.
Yes.
The elves among you have completed their long rest at this point. And Cat Vengeance. Shortly after that, you begin to hear sounds coming from the hall beyond the passage that beyond the passage that Seven has blocked up. You start to hear sounds of men talking, shouting.
At that, Kat would just place her finger to her lips and slowly creep towards blockade and listen.
You can hear them calling out to each other in Zdaril. Another of those blockages up here, Yuri. Bring the hammers.
Okay. And she would look to Vengeance and just motion, get the others, it's time to go.
Sorry, I had food in my mouth when you said that.
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm gonna look at Cat and then look at the control panel and give the look of should we try to fuck with it?
No. She's just shaking her head. She's going, no.
I point at the arrows on my back in the hallway, what if I shoot it from the hallway? See if it'll set it going again.
Gonna shoot a dial.
Oh my god.
Hey, you shoot electronics, shit happens, okay?
That is such a bad idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Great idea. Why do we care?
Yeah, you could fuck it up, but then it'd be awesome.
It could explode.
Yeah.
It's just vengeance.
Yeah,
I'm also here.
Okay, start going away. I'll do it.
Oh, Vengeance, your self-sacrifice is just more questionable than anything else, but whatever. I'm just gonna leave. You do whatever you like. I am creeping away as fast as I can.
I'm sure
And
it
as
was
soon
an
as she
arrow from across the hallway.
as soon as she passes through this threshold, she's gonna start yelling first in Zdarl, then in Common. Time to go! Come on! Wake up! And she starts clapping her hands like, it's time to go!
Carry me.
Carry you?
Lower me.
He wants to sleep a little longer.
Okay, so someone's gonna keep resting.
A cat will scoop Seven up like a princess
No.
and start carrying him.
He doesn't. He probably doesn't weigh very much, actually.
I think that I'm pretty sure cat can easily carry Seven.
Carry me, he says in dead seriousness.
I would like to see if shooting it with an arrow does anything.
All right. So you don't just have to hit it with an arrow. You have to hit a specific dial on it, and you have to hit the correct side of the dial to make it go in the correct direction. So this is going to be a very, very difficult attack roll. But if you can hit it, you might be able to do something. But it is not an easy attack roll.
Fuck what I got to lose.
What do you got to lose? Just an arrow. And nothing else worse, right? You hit the console, and the arrow dings it. It kind of hits the right area around the dial, but it doesn't exactly hit the dial, and it glances off, and it kind of puts a crack in that glowing green display as it ricochets off, but does not have the intended effect.
Yeah, I'm not gonna actually hit that dial. Fuck that shit. I tried. I'm gonna catch up the cat over here. What are we waiting for? We going or what?
Oh, you're asking me? I am carrying Zaychik.
Let's go.
Go.
All right.
Someone wake up Seven back there?
I think the cat's got it.
Seven is steadfastly refusing to interrupt his hours of rest and just hangs on to Cat. She carries him down the staircase. Hank is like, yeah, sure, okay. I mean, I'd take a piggyback ride too if I could. Oh, I got a short rest then. I suppose that means I healed up a little bit. That might be important.
I'm not also carrying you.
Oh, what if I look like Seven?
Maybe. Later. Let's talk about that later.
Too
Right.
saggy.
And I will come oozing along after you. I will take off the rear so that I don't slow anyone down.
You just had to throw the word oozing on that, didn't you?
Oh, it's what I do.
I know, Tobias. It's just...
So Glorzo, I know you can make like acid shoot out of you. Can you like just coat the hallway to slow them down, or is it like only a certain time you can do that?
I can use my goo in certain very effective ways if I want to melt things, but it has to be well timed.
Okay.
Very well then. To the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
And the dramatic music starts playing.
I don't remember anything good happening on the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
It's the drums.
I need my well-timed Lord of the Rings drop. Actually, I think that's actually the name of that track on the soundtrack, The Bridge of Khazad-dûm. I listened to that one a lot as a kid. It doesn't matter. The point is that you begin descending the staircase, going down and down and down. There's no part where rocks fall down and block the front and the back at the same time, and then you have to lean to dramatically jump forward. Instead, it just descends down this tunnel, which looks, on one hand, quite sort of plush and ornate with this carpet that just runs down and down it, and on the other hand, sort of rough and unrefined, as the walls are just this kind of like roughly worked stone. It's very chiseled and kind of coarse, but there's plenty of room for you to descend quickly down 30 feet around the bend, and you can see that the staircase continues on for a significant ways. However, after a minute or so of steadily descending, you begin to see light at the end of the tunnel, quite literally. A dim orange glow, which grows brighter and brighter as you draw nearer the exit. Eventually, you find yourselves standing near the exit. It appears that this staircase opens into a larger space, although you can't quite see all the details of it from within. You can, however, feel a warm draft wafting up towards you. It makes you sweat a little bit. It's a dry heat, but it's pretty hot. And just near the exit to this cave, there's no door or anything like that. It just opens into this hall. However, there is a metal cabinet that is hanging on the wall with one door slightly ajar.
How many hours did that take us?
It only took you about a minute.
All right, so there's a door open.
That cabinet's got vengeance written all over it.
Yep, I'm gonna go open the cabinet. I'm gonna go look. I'll investigate.
Okay.
Benny-san.
You investigate, and inside you find it contains several sets of garments that are quite strange to you. They're made out of an unusual sort of material, not fabric exactly, but neither are they metal or leather. They're soft and pliable, and yet they don't seem to rip or tear easily, as if they were quite durable. They appear to be suits that cover your entire body, and also include a strange-looking helmet made out of a similar fabric as the rest of the stuff, but with a glass plate in the front of it, which allows you to see out and for others to see your face. There are 5 of these suits.
We might have an issue. We only got 5 where these suits aren't, and if I had to guess, they're probably something protective for whatever's
Against
ahead.
what?
I don't know what's ever ahead.
Are they big enough to fit 2 people inside a suit?
Oh my god.
Oh, come on. We'll be fine.
If
Snuggle
I
up.
Can I see if I know what these suits are for at all?
You could give me an intelligence check, I suppose, just straight intelligence.
Fuck.
I mean, your guess was that they're in some way protective, and they do seem to be. The material is strong. It doesn't seem like it would stop an arrow or a sword, but it does completely encase your body. Um, and as you're kind of mulling this over, Glorzo comes oozing up in the rear, leaving a stained trail on the carpet behind him as he does so. He says,
Perhaps I can assist with that. These are special magic items, what you might call suits of safety. We used to wear these for certain procedures at the station.
What exactly do they protect against?
Mostly environmental dangers, poisonous, noxious fumes, or some forms of elemental damage.
We should definitely wear them then.
Well, we don't know what is ahead. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, how about
It felt hot. So we already encountered cold. Perhaps it is heat.
look, let's take them all now. Everyone grab one, I guess, and if it is heat, depending on how hot it is, I might be able to go through it quickly.
We were able to turn it off. Turn off the cold, remember?
Doesn't mean we're gonna be able to turn off the heat, so I guess we can find out.
Well, why don't you put on the suit and then go see it?
Okay, look, I'm not a smart man, okay?
Then take Ryland with you.
Why do I always have to be with them?
In case we need a giant naked man to save us again.
Nimue, make sure he doesn't kill himself.
I got a good rest. Let's go. Let's go see what's in front of us.
And I guess I'll throw on the safety suit.
I will too.
okay.
Suit up.
Yeah, you can put on the suit. It takes a couple of minutes to get it on. But you throw it on over your body and then over your head as the hood sort of comes down around you. It is a little perhaps claustrophobic, and you may even feel a moment of like stuffiness. It almost seems like you can't breathe in these things. But then Glorious was like,
No, you have to press here, expend a charge, activate the suit.
and he pushes a button that's like on the chest piece of each of the suits, and you begin to feel fresh air wafting around your face, and yeah, he says,
Here, I can show you the operation. These buttons here will enable the suit to protect you against airborne threats like poison and gas. And these here,
he points out,
resistance against fire, cold, acid, poison, lightning.
These things are pretty cool, don't you?
Where were these when we were by the fucking crystal thing?
Right?
Don't rely on them for too long, though. They have limited duration. 1
That is
hour for
probably-
each charge spent.
Alrighty then.
Right.
I guess we got an hour.
where did the item handout go? I created an item handout for these and I cannot find the damn thing.
Oh my gosh, Anthony.
I know.
What is this
I'm
campaign?
I'm annoyed too. I'll have to re-import them later. But yes, essentially, these items are do not require any charges. However, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Do not require attunement. Um, they have 3 charges, and by expending 1 charge, you gain 1 hour of one of those effects, either the ability to breathe in a hostile environment or resistance against any one of those damage types listed. You can expend multiple charges at once, but obviously that limits the duration of the suit's effectiveness. And then Nimue steps out, and who else with her? Is it Vengeance or Cat? I got a little mixed up.
No,
Me.
Cat's carrying me, and I
Okay.
can't do it because I'm being carried. So,
And he's
Got
also
it.
asleep.
well, let's not go that far.
All right. Nimue and Vengeance then?
I
Yeah.
imagine Cat's arms are very comfortable.
If you're not making any signs of like wanting to put 7 down, like during these 2 minutes that people are like changing, he's not saying anything. He's happy to just chill there, you know?
like a cat that's been picked up. Gotcha. Okay. Then Cat is definitely not putting it down.
This is the. No, that's not right. Ah, there it is. Okay. You step forward and out into the open cavern, and you see the following. I guess I can bring just Vengeance and Nimue.
Oh, fuck.
Let's see. Okay. We be very careful. We're not going to die.
I love how you just see from my camera just orange glow on me now.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I guess we go this way.
Go.
Where the fuck did we come out of?
This little tunnel right here.
Oh, that's a tunnel. Okay, I thought that was like just more land.
I'm so excited, Vinny-san, to see what's in the middle.
The fuck is that?
Right? I feel like Usagi needs to see that, but maybe we'll just have to describe it. It looks like constellations. No, we'll have to see.
Before I step on this, does this look stable?
Yeah, or very hot.
It looks old, but it hasn't fallen yet.
Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Cool.
You seem okay. Alright. So it just keeps going around. Are we able to see the middle a little bit from here? Like if I stood like here?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can. Past the brilliant burning blaze that wafts up from the massive pit in the middle of this cavern, through a sheet of roiling miasmic flames, you can make out what looks like the halls and walls of a grand city.
I'm gonna keep going. You coming, Nimue? Oh, Chief Freeze.
She might have.
Yep, looks like it.
Sorry, my internet's being funky.
All good. Did you hear what he said we saw, or did you cut out before then?
Yeah, I heard about the city. Walking.
Is it any more clear on this ledge that seems perfectly closer to it?
Uh, sorry. You doesn't matter. Um, yeah, I mean, you look down and you can indeed see something that looks far grander in its construction, and yet still mirrors some of the same architectural elements and designs that you've seen on the way in through all of this. It appears that it is a city of dwarven make.
That doesn't seem weird at all.
Do you think it's a puzzle or a magical vision?
Maybe it's what happened to the dwarves that used to live here? I don't
It
know.
could be. It could be a defense.
Maybe they weren't destroyed, they just went into hiding somewhere else?
Yeah, went through. Hmm. Hmm. I'm real curious to look at this magic thing.
Fucking Nimue, goddamn sprinting over here.
I am fast. I have 55 movement speed.
She's
Just
one of
imagine,
those fast walkers.
and then she's walking super fast, and I'm just like sprinting to keep up. They're like, slow the fuck down.
I keep using my cunning action just to walk beside you.
Yeah. You got it, Vinny-san. I'm just really hoping that this is a way down, that this is the way to get to the dwarves. Okay. So, what is this thing? What are we looking at
Oh
here?
boy, it's magic. I don't gotta explain it.
It sure looks magic.
It definitely looks magic.
That's the same way they explain season 8 of Game of Thrones.
You can give me Arcana checks.
Okay.
That's gonna be a tough one. No, I'm not completely retarded.
Have you ever studied any magic, Vinny-san?
Um, I can tell you it looks like magic.
Yep. Trying to get to my magic knowledge. Roll, please. Oh, I know magic.
Whoa!
Nimue.
He knows exactly what it is.
Nimue, you in a strange way, Nimue, perhaps this isn't so unfamiliar to you. And of course, you're feeling the absence of your quarry keenly now, which you have known as an alien entity, a being from another plane of existence, and maybe somewhere along the way in the life that you've led, in the experiences you've had with your quarry, you have learned a thing or two about the planes. You look down and recognize that this sigil has been inscribed here very carefully with incredible thought to the alignment of various planes in order to create what looks like a stable passage. It seems that the planes are bleeding together here, your material plane and the plane of elemental fire, as evidenced by, all of the fire. But somebody has put a tremendous amount of care into crafting this sigil to keep the two stable in a way relative to each other. Imagine it almost like two ships that are trying uh, to dock with each other in choppy waves. They're always kind of moving and shifting relative to each other, but it's as if somebody has calmed the waters here to allow these two to be steady and less chaotic in each other's presence. It's actually a work of real art as you look at the sigil. It's somewhat beautiful in its elegance, and you can see that it's referencing the position and the movement of various celestial bodies. It seems to be tied into the astral as well as the realm of fire.
I feel like she couldn't help but touch it and trace over some of the lines, and she would say this seems like something that Tari was trying to show me once. It almost seems familiar, like flashes of her memory, the stars, other planes. This is somehow holding the plane of fire to ours. keeping them stable. I wonder if we can pass through somehow, and if this might be on the plane of fire.
I mean, it wouldn't be my first time going through a random portal.
True.
I just hear Rylan yelling from the background.
Don't
Don't
go
you
that way."
fucking do it!
We should definitely get everybody first before we jump in.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They'll never
100%.
see us again. Or we could get separated. Who knows?
There's an issue, Nimue.
There is a huge wall of fire.
No. The issue of we only have 5 suits. So I guess, are we leaving Hank and Glorzo behind?
I guess we can see if Hank would. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe Usagi's idea of having 2 people in one suit wasn't a bad idea.
I'm imagining, like, do we actually feel like it's extremely hot through these suits?
I mean, it's warm in here. You can tell that the suits are keeping it relatively comfortable. You're not really feeling the heat, but you can just tell from the ripples in the air that it must be quite hot over that pit.
Okay, so speed running through here ain't gonna be good for my health. Gotcha. What do you want, dog? What? All right. I imagine. I guess it's time to go back to the others.
Yeah, it's a long way down here, but yeah, we should at least grab Usagi and Kat so Usagi can look at this. Yeah, let's go back and tell them what we found to see if they have any ideas.
Yeah.
Do you want to invite the others to suit up and come take a look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what they think.
In that case, I'll just move everybody onto this map. Oh, there it is, all the way down at the bottom. Couldn't find it because it was all the way at the bottom of my screen. Here's your suit.
Ooh.
Nice.
We'd all look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
It says it does require attunement, or is that wrong?
So it doesn't require attunement. That may have been an adjustment I made along the way. It does not require attunement now. And let me get the other PCs on this map. Cat, who is presumably still carrying 7.
Dressed him in the suit and everything.
Why
And Ryland.
did Vince even put on the safety suit when he could just put on his superhero uniform? That'll protect him
Right.
from anything.
Seriously.
See, we do have one
He's
more
been
suit.
so resistant. Oh my god, that's a lot of fire.
Yeah, right? That
Welcome
look like
to
some
the
sort of-
party.
It looks like we should be able
Cat
to get...
is going to dip 7 so he can take a better look.
Sure, he glances down and then closes his eyes again.
Closes his eyes again. He's resting his eyes even while his brain is thinking. You know, you can
That
interrupt a
is-
long rest with up to 1 hour of activity and still go back to it.
I know, but it's never been clear to me like what level of activity. So I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, you know, that's fair.
This is the equivalent of waking up and snoozing your alarm and trying to go back to sleep.
Yeah,
And then snoozing it again.
What the fuck are we going to do with this?
Right.
This is gonna be it.
Vintage,
gotta
have
be
you
able
tried
to get
going
rid
in
of it.
yet?
Me and Nimue agreed that we should wait for you guys.
No, it's okay. You go ahead. Just let us
We
know
don't
how
want to
it
inform
I can help. It's fine. I'm not going to get this fucking rest anyway.
Hush, hush, Sage.
rubbing his back.
She just cradles him.
It's probably just your imagination, but you think you hear him like emit a very low, like subtle moan. But
Cat almost drops him.
but he still seems determined to get up and help.
Cat almost drops him, but just like you can't. She's very glad that this, and she just turns around so he can't see her face through the suit.
Hey, it's okay. He can't tell you're red anyway with the light.
Are the rest of us wearing these suits? What happened with the suits?
I was assuming that you donned them before coming in here, but you don't have to, I suppose. If you
Well,
don't,
what about our two companions? Did they saw no interest in fighting over it?
there. I mean, if the three of you are putting on suits, they're not going to get in the way of that. But Hank is like, looking a little antsy, looking back over his shoulder, like he knows that it's not long before the army has even found this place. Glorzo seems a little bit more gooey on the matter, and kind of,
God damn it.
just
Th-
kind of
does
slouches up against the wall and says,
You should do what you think is best.
does Glorzo need a suit? How does goo respond under fire?
Well, I imagine that it wouldn't be good for my goo. However, I've rather lost any sense of pain, or hot or cold, along with my entire nervous system.
Hmm. Can I put you in? This is going to sound offensive. Can I put you into a jar? Like a sealed jar?
I suppose you could do that, but you would need a very large jar.
Damn. Can I take a part of you? And then that would be like a mini you?
You want to separate my goo?
I mean, is that like cutting off your head? I don't actually know. You are the first goo man I've ever met. So I'm sorry if this is sounding offensive.
he raises one gooey hand to stroke his gooey chin, and it all just kind of melds together.
He says, Never tried to separate my goo before. I can't imagine that without much goo, I would be very helpful to you. But I suppose I could maybe make do with just a little goo for a while.
Okay, follow-up question. And I cannot believe I'm going to ask this. Can you fit in a suit with someone else as goo?
That's very weird.
I just want to know, like, our options. I am so sorry.
I think I might be able to fit my goo in a suit, but it would be rather a tight squeeze for me and my goo alone, let alone a whole nother person in there.
Another goo related question. If you don't feel pain or heat,
Could you technically make yourself into a shell around someone?
I've never tried to do that.
Would that person dissolve?
I think
I've
it's just
never
as good.
tried that either.
Okay, you know, we will figure this out, okay? We are going to figure it
No,
out.
I don't like to think of myself so much as a shell or a jar-shaped thing. I like to think of myself as Glorzo, and Glorzo has 2 arms and 2 legs and a body and a head.
Yes, that is. We are trying to
Come up with options.
work with what we have. Yes.
Well,
I mean, I'm willing to attempt the mini Glorzo thing, but the rest of that I'm not so sure about.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Maybe you could wrap yourself around Seven over here, and he can take a nap, and you can just kind of like operate his body loosely.
Wait a second. Why does Riley need a suit? Can't he like bubble himself and walk down here?
Can't he bubble multiple people?
No, it's a concentration type thing.
It's a 5-foot sphere, I believe so.
Don't know.
Well, yeah, it's a concentration thing. That would be good for a minute.
Well, I mean,
And we're having like a 30-minute discussion down here right now, so maybe if we got a plan of action, I can go back, take it off, come down, and we can execute.
all right, yeah, because I don't think we should really abandon those two back there.
Yeah,
Well, first let's just try to see if someone can get through. That's the main thing. Someone's gonna come down here, and he's gonna tell Vengeance, I can make you a little portal through the flames here. I can't hold it that long, but it should be a big enough portal for you to jump through, and it will at least protect you while you're going through.
Isn't that what this suit's for? I just
It's just an extra layer of protection, so that just in case the suit isn't good enough. And then Seven's gonna cast minor illusion and make it look like there's a portal through the flame. And he's gonna say vengeance. He's gonna say, "Go! I can't hold it long."
I'm going in, I guess.
Oh no.
Guinea pig up.
Don't forget to press the button.
I did.
All right. You press the button, and you go through. And congratulations, Vengeance. You've given yourself. Which button do you press?
The fire one that Glorzo pointed to.
Okay, you've given yourself resistance to fire.
This all looks like fire to me.
It is fire.
Okay.
Feels like fire. It is fire. Psych out! It was thunder damage all along.
Actually, it doesn't look like fire to you. It looks like a nice, clear portal right through the fire.
Vengeance, you jump through. And you pass through this little nice clear portal, and then immediately after that you pass through a whole lot of very unclear swirling molten flames and chunks of burning magma that fill your vision. You can't really see anything with the brilliant glare. Your suit sort of automatically seems to dampen this light for you a little bit, but it's still incredibly bright, makes you squint, and you feel yourself falling, but perhaps not as precipitously as you might have expected. It seems more as if you were floating in what direction you can't tell. You can't really see, and you can't feel anything around you until all of the brilliant, blinding light dims suddenly. There's still the orange glow of hot magma all around you, but it is illuminating tall and darkened walls of stone and metal. They stretch up over your head to dizzying heights. You can see that every surface of them has been carefully crafted, covered in stone carvings that depict mighty dwarves, long beards stretching down over their torsos, their grim faces staring down upon you.
Hello?
Your voice echoes and seems to go on and on in the vast emptiness of this hall. You can still hear the sounds of magma churning, and if you look down, you realize that you're standing on a sort of elevated walkway or bridge or something, and beneath you, lava continues to flow and illuminate everything from down below, maybe about 100 feet down or so. You can feel, well, you can't really feel it, but you can sense that there's still quite a bit of heat here, although not nearly as dramatic as what you just passed through.
I guess walk towards the buildings, still doing the hello thing.
Yeah.
Are any of us able to see him, or did he just kind of disappear?
He kind of disappeared, but if you squint and look down after a few seconds, you can see the tiny little form of Vengeance in his suit moving along way down below.
It's alive.
Where is he?
Well, that seems to have worked. Now the question is, if we cannot survive, how are we going to bring those two?
Lords would probably be an easier
Is
case.
this like one of those puzzles where like three of us go through and then two of them take it off and the third one takes the other two back through?
I don't know if he can come back.
Yeah.
This might be a one-way trip.
If I was rested, I could just teleport us through, or try. At least two people, but I haven't got any. I don't know, power left. I haven't got any power left. I don't know what he would call it, really.
I mean, the only one with any fire resistance is kind of already through the portal.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah?
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
he has fire resistance and he put on the suit.
Because someone yelled at me to put it on.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yep.
We technically didn't know if it'd be enough, though.
First one through, too.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I can give myself fire resistance, really, like for one jump through this thing. So we could give my suit to someone else.
And I reckon I could take mine off and, roll down here real quick and through.
Okay. So it's not too bad.
No, we can fix Vengeance' mistake.
It's okay. So I guess I'll go next. Yes. Sejik, what I thought you were out of power. Like, did you actually create a portal?
Yes. Would you like one?
I mean, do you think it will help?
Of course.
Okay, I would like a portal, please.
You cast another minor illusion, but this time, it's just like a dark hole with like a laughing skull floating behind it. Like it looks like.
Zechik, is this the portal to the same place?
It's a joke. There was no portal. Sorry, I'm just having fun at your expense.
Okay, I'm just going to. I'm just fuck it, Bliat. And she just fucking sprints into the portal.
She jumps and is gone. I just gotta say, I love presenting you guys with portals because there's so much angst over them every time.
Can't imagine why.
No idea why. They seem pretty cozy.
It's not like the last time you went through a portal, anything crazy happened.
Right.
Is it like too hot here to take off the suit here? If I start to like unzip it, is it clear that like I wouldn't survive taking it off here?
It's not quite that bad. It does. I mean, it's very uncomfortable, and you suspect that if you spent any extended amount of time here, it would be bad for you. But it's not as if you start instantly incinerating or anything.
I would have been fine then. Weird.
All right. Well, Seven's gonna start quickly stripping off his suit, tossing it to either Nimue or Ryland, saying this is for Hank or Goo Boy, whoever needs it, and Glorzo, and he's going to jump through, and as soon as he feels heat, he's going to cast what amounts to absorb elements, and give himself resistance to fire or whatever the damage would be.
Sassy bands.
Yeah, he's got a couple little tiny bracelets.
couple knickknacks.
All right, you give yourself resistance for essentially 1 round, and that's actually enough to see you through. You touch down, and your vision clears, and you can see yourself just a few paces behind Vengeance.
Imagine at this point, it's probably like, dumbass, give me the suit.
And then I'll go back up top to where they're at as well. Take off my suit and get in my bubble.
I'll toss Usagi's suit to Hank or Glorzo and hop in myself.
Much obliged.
See you on the other side.
I really didn't think the tiefling was going to take a suit through the fire portal, but what can I say?
Extra cautious.
Oh my god.
It looked very hot, and Kat yelled at me, so I went through with it.
Oh my god, you cannot blame this on me.
This is happening on the
You
other side.
actually cannot blame this on
I
me.
can blame this and the kick on you.
That's not happening.
They'll both take the suits and they'll go on through.
Let's go talk.
I really
to some
hope this is
horse.
worth my payout. That's all I can say. This is getting more and more convoluted. I don't know.
The plan is getting worse all the this deal's getting worse all the time.
We kind of just make shit up.
I would demand a very, very high premium. This is
Ryland, do you bubble up?
Yeah, I
Go
bubbled up
through?
and went in.
All right, you bubble up and go through. Your bubble seems to hold through this portal.
That's good. I would have been fucked otherwise. I don't have
And-
fire resistance like some members of our party.
And Nimue, you as well?
Yep, I'll jump on in.
All right.
literally Devilkin, and he doesn't remember that he has fire resistance.
I literally
literally Devilkin.
No. I literally made the comment. I can go through without a suit if it's fire, and someone yelled at
No,
me.
you didn't. When did
I
you
did
ever
too.
do that?
When we were talking about it, I said I don't need a suit. I can give it to someone,
Whatever.
and someone yelled at me to put it on.
This conversation is over.
Yeah, I don't recall you ever saying that, Pat.
Well, whatever. It's not like I haven't used it like 4 times already.
You mean when he drowned?
Okay,
That's
that's what.
fire resistance there.
I didn't have water resistance. Is the issue.
Okay. You touch down in this city, and as I said before, as I described to Vengeance, it seems that this place has become a strange medley of the dwarven city of Gramnir and the elemental plane of fire. You can step forward into its grand halls and find yourself walking along this broad thoroughfare, which leads over the lava, over the magma. And eventually, up ahead of you, you can see them. Dwarves who are... It seems that they're camped out in the middle of this causeway. There's several of them that are sitting and kind of have themselves propped up, resting on like the railing that that protects the causeway on either side, that lines it. And there's not really that many places to go here. It's you spot them, and it's not long until a couple of them spot you and call out. They hail you, and find yourself here. Down here specifically.
Please, Ryland, if you have words for the Dulgrin matriarch, I believe she might be up ahead.
Finally.
We have gone through literal hell and back.
Are these people in suits?
They are not in suits, but you can see that they are sweating profusely.
All right, well, I'm gonna take the suit off then,
Okay, yeah, you can take the suit off.
Now you take it off.
and I'm just be like, this seemed really unnecessary. I don't know why I wore this.
Kat is also gonna take off her suit.
Can I push into the lake of eternal fire?
7 will take one of those discarded suits because he looks very sad, like he misses his suit already.
You can take Vengeances. Vengeance doesn't need one. I'll keep it.
Gotcha.
And Rylan will step up and classic Rylan fashion and dwarves, but hey, Rylan Nilo here. What if y'all happen to be the Torgan matriarch? Or how loud is it in here? Do I need to use thaumaturgy to make it heard?
Why don't
I
we
mean,
why don't we
you
just
know.
walk closer?
the magma is making a lot of noise, but the halls are also very echoey.
Don't move closer,
I don't
Vincent.
want him to confuse it, so I'll kind of draw everything out. You're like, ha! Ryland Nile! Gotta get the acoustics right.
As you're saying that, one of the dwarves calls out, "We heard you the first time. Come
Look,
closer."
Okay.
Oh my god, Vengeance!
What? He
Did,
said come closer.
did they reply?
You always rush off first!
Do you understand Dwarvish?
They reply in common, actually.
Yeah.
That's not a yeah. You don't respond with to a yeah.
No. It's okay, Cat. I told them to kill the tiefling on site. That's why he called
Oh.
closer.
Hi.
Yes, hello. We have gone through many things to try and find you.
Hello.
A couple of them come forward. You see others sort of quickly getting up, rushing towards you, looking like they don't quite know what to do. But this one in the front is like, all right, back off, would you? What do you want with the matriarch?"
We were told to come here. We were told to seek out the matriarch. That she was gonna be targeted by the fake queen.
Which she is.
Yeah, they're like maybe like 30 minutes behind us tops.
Oh, and this gentleman over here, I believe you might know him.
And
Yeah.
then the green guy back there, I think is used to be a kin. I don't know how to explain that one.
King? What?
Kin. Kin.
Dwarf? Ah, I see.
I was once a dwarf as well.
And the dwarves look a little incredulous about that. But
Don't disrespect your elders.
Elder is an understatement.
Sorry, that was presumptuous of me. These are.
Sorry, we
Go ahead.
specifically were sent by Nordragon.
that you see raises a couple of eyebrows, and this woman here steps forward, kind of nudges the other dwarves back, and she says, "You've spoken to Nordraga. Does that mean she's alive?"
Well, she wasn't when we left. We ran into her. You see, the mortal hand picked her up outside Lamadon, and they took her to that city with the fancy church, Visselgrad, I think.
I think Hank can answer that question better.
No, what is that city with the fancy church? I'm not from the realm of Fake Queen. All these cities are mighty confusing.
I think he's referring to Valinistad.
Ah, yeah. Thank you, Hank. Valinistad.
Yeah, you're
home of
welcome.
the mortal hand. That's
When you
where
look
we ran
back,
into her.
when you look back at Hank, he looks completely different. He looks more like this.
You motherfucker, I swear to God.
I love this man.
He's
I do like this man.
He's like, apologies. This is the face that the dwarves know me by.
But yeah,
Yes, I was contracted by you fine folks on a certain Nordraga shouldn't reveal any secrets to the mortal hand kind of mission, and that mission's complete. So I'm here for payment.
Hank, did you kill Nordraga after we left?
Right.
I think that's what he's
I
saying.
think that's what that implied.
Well,
He
Hank,
Okay, this recontextualizes everything. I hope you understand that.
he shrugs and he says, "Look, I couldn't accomplish point A of the contract, so I had to fall back on point B. It's unfortunate, but it was all there in the paperwork."
somehow, no matter what happens, it always links back to Vengeance's fall.
How is it my fault?
Did you not tell this man how to get in?
Okay, we all kind of did. We were all in the back of the carriage when this happened.
We all trusted Hank.
I mean, look, my first priority was to try and rescue the girl. It was only due to unfortunate circumstances that I was had to fall back on the second plan. You know, it was the fallback. It was not the desired outcome, but it is what we agreed upon. He says, and he kind of shifts his gaze back to the dwarves, and you see the woman with the long white hair and intricate braids kind of nods grimly, and she says, "He has fulfilled his part of the bargain. It is unfortunate and the pay will not be as good, but it is what we agreed to."
What? What was that protecting exactly?
Was protecting information about the nature of
Information,
this place.
nature.
Well,
And
clearly
this,
that didn't do jack shit because they're, like I said, they're right behind us.
and this place is what exactly? All I see is a blasted ruin.
Of course, that's what you see. That's what it is. A ruin. But even a ruin can hold great secrets and even greater power.
All right, look, I feel like we could talk all day, but like I said, we have issues behind us, and we came for a reason. So can we like possibly speed this along?
What sort of issues behind you?
Well, we
The
did say
army
that-
you mentioned.
yeah, they're kind of coming pretty fast.
Hmm.
The army of the realm of the fake queen.
We
I don't
figured it out.
believe they will survive the journey through the portal. I made
I-
quite sure of that.
I
We
fact-
did.
It's rather remarkable that a lot of you have come through. I should like to know how you've done it.
Well, the little sooty thingies that we got, and then as for your comment, there is someone back there that probably can still get through pretty easily, knowing what he can do.
Hmm.
You know, when I spoke to Nordraga, she mentioned that they thought you knew some secrets. And then we talked to some of the many who believed there were some maybe ancient artifacts here that could help us defeat the Fey Queen. Would that be the secret that you were trying to keep?
Artifacts. Aye, artifact. One. One that's more important than anything. But I'm not the right person to talk to you about it. It's not mine to speak of. She kind of looks back, and you see yet another dwarf step forward. And this woman kind of steps aside. And this one comes forward. As she does so, the elder woman sort of does a little bow and says, "Before you stands." Oh boy. I could do it. I could do it. I just got to get a good running start up to it. Before you stands Hazamahilda Torgrin,
Yes.
What the
Nice.
fuck?
matriarch of Clan Torgrin. And through her blood flows the last remnants of Clan Wow, I've already screwed it up. Gramnir as well. God damn it.
I'm gonna take the hint that we're supposed to bow and bow.
What are you doing?
The other one bowed.
Oh my
Bowed.
god! Look at that
What the
name.
fuck? Hazamahilda. My guy, you did not make that easy on yourself. Only thing that would have made that worse if you put like
Hazamahilda.
a few more words in there.
I suppose we should all introduce ourselves.
I don't
I am. Yes,
I
yes, you
think
did.
I do that
Ryland.
all the time.
I am Ekaterina Borislavna Melnikov.
Yeah, vengeance.
Hajimashite Nimue, the Empire of Isles.
Phil. What? That's
His
that's
name is Phil.
well, that's the
We're
name I
from
gave him.
Hank to Phil.
That's the name I gave him. Phil. It's Phil. I mean, you already know that.
And I am Glorzo.
Seven walks up from behind. You see he's back in the suit, and you're like, I guess he's still got the hood up, so it's muffled behind. He's like,
Oh, sure.
Kevin.
Out of curiosity, does Seven wear the sunglasses over or under?
So good.
Do you turn around and look?
I am gonna turn around and look.
To your disappointment, it looks as if these sunglasses would not have fit over the glass face mask. So you imagine he's wearing them behind that somewhere.
The dwarf who has stepped forward says, "'Tis a remarkable thing that you have come to this place. But since you have arrived, and are apparently no foes of ours, I welcome you to the halls of Granir Delve, the city of my ancestors." You were right when you said that we know certain things, certain powers that have been long forgotten on the surface, that remain unknown to the so-called Fey Queen. Her true strength, you see, it lies not in her armies, not in her forms that she can take, but in her powers of the mind, the way that she inserts herself, takes over, dominates your will. Who can resist her truly when she can make a mere puppet of any who would dare to stand against her? But in this place,
My ancestors forged a crown. A crown that is said to be imbued with all of the stubbornness of dwarves. A crown which can make any man or woman stand up in the face of even one who considers herself to be a god. We have found the throne room, but there are complications.
Opposition.
She nods. The place is not quite so abandoned or forgotten as we had hoped. It appears that it is guarded by two golems, the finest of dwarven construction. And that is not all. The crown still rests upon the brow of King Gramnir himself. I have seen it from afar. I ken. But something has happened to him. Something has twisted him. If you've come through the way that we came, perhaps you've seen signs of it too. The great tragedy of Gnashing Earth. It destroyed the dwarven cities. It killed the dwarven peoples. But it seems it's left some of them alive and changed. I regret to say. The king is one of them.
Oh.
And is he someone if we ask, he would just hand it over, or are you saying we gotta be a little more forceful? Just curious, hoping for the best.
She kind of gives a little smirk and says, "It does not seem that the king is open to hearing petitions at the moment."
Yeah, it seems like they really are.
I suppose the obvious question, if we were to help you, would we have your assistance in the form of said artifact to go and saying this to oppose and defeat the fake queen?
Seemed to feel good, Cap.
It just feels so wrong on so
For all
many
of the
levels.
people.
If you are true enemies of the fake queen, and you must be to have gone through so many trials to reach here before they have. If you think you truly have what it takes to lie her low, who calls herself goddess, then you have my blessing. And more than that, you have my axe.
And you have our bows.
Oh my god!
My rapiers?
I'm not saying it.
Well, if only Sabine were here. We're gonna make a stand for the people. So that they have a choice.
Hey, Beat.
Doesn't that sound like just a great old time there, Cat?
Hey, Beat. We are going to die.
Well, you already almost did die in the mouth of that serpent.
Yes, that is true. I have faced death more times than I can count with you people,
We've lived
my
together.
friends.
Wait, does that
Uh,
include me, Cat?
I wish Naz was here.
Mm.
She doesn't respond.
I don't think she helped too much when she was here.
Who, Naz?
Yeah, you still died about the same rate, I feel like.
I didn't die at all.
I mean, a little bit. Inside.
Inside.
Oh wow, okay. That's more philosophical than I expected, but okay, whatever. You know. So I feel like we need a little bit of rest first, yes? Feel like maybe we could complete 4 hours of rest, let's say?
She nods and she says, "The portal that you passed through should hold the forces of the enemy at bay. You have time, if that's what you need. Take it."
Question. How are we going to leave?
Well, that's a bit more of a tricky question, isn't it? But Dazobella got us through the first time. I'm sure she'll get us back out. And the gray-haired woman nods deferentially.
Okay. Naz is gonna, a cat is gonna turn to her companions. Don't let that one die.
Right.
Going to need her.
I'm not gonna let anyone die.
Good. We have definitely not let any other dwarves to die.
Yep, not even relevant.
I don't even know why I said that. That's weird.
Did something
I
happen
guess.
while Zil died?
No. Of course not.
I guess when we leave, we'll have an army to fight, but we'll have power to fight them.
Well, I guess it's 7 nap time.
Yep.
Way ahead of you.
I imagine we all turn around. He's already like curled up on the ground, just
Yeah.
He's asleep standing up. You just can't see it through the visor and the sunglasses.
Yeah. This this intersection where the dwarves seem to have set up camp is swelteringly hot. But it seems to be relatively safe. As far as you can tell, there's just open causeways that extend in any direction. You have perfectly clear lines of sight, but you see no signs of movement or other creatures or anything like that. And the dwarves, as they'll explain, have been here already some time, and not encountered any threats besides the ones they found in the throne room. Seems the city is otherwise abandoned or destroyed.
There was just the king left behind. The captain going down with the ship. I can admire that.
There is something poetic about it, aye, and sad. To be lost in your own city, your people destroyed or fled, your great halls going into ruin, slowly being swallowed up by the fire. I dare say that when we take him down, we'll be doing a service to him.
When? When we take him down?
I think that's what I said.
Is it? I thought you said if. My
I
bad.
made the point to say when,
Say, where
Oh.
is
because
this
I'm very
library?
confident. He goes, it is not far from here. Follow the path to the north. Well, look, north doesn't mean much in here, but follow it that way at least. She points up towards the top of the map. You shall soon come upon it.
And you said it's protected by 2 golems?
Aye. 2 marvels of dwarven engineering.
Are marvels of engineering resistant to magma?
That I'm not sure I could say. But they sure are resistant to most forms of magic.
Are you saying you won't drop the golems into the magma, Ryland?
I mean, I was just thinking that'd probably be the easiest way. Because, I mean, what are they going to do with magma except melt?
That's true. That's true. But how are we going to push them into the magma?
I don't know. I was thinking we could probably use vengeance for bait or something and, like, get behind them and just push them.
He does have fire resistance.
I already don't like this idea.
Well, I mean, you are fire resistant. They are probably not super cool with fire, Unless they would just be very angry at that, and then in which case we have golems that are also on fire, that are very angry, which would be very terrifying. Maybe this isn't such a good idea, Ryland.
Maybe we should all just, take our nappy naps.
Well,
And then
feel pretty
figure it
good.
out.
You guys can take your nap now if you want.
I usually like to cuddle before I die, but it's very hot here, so I'm not going to do that.
You guys have anything up there on that platform that's good to sleep on, or is like this rug the best bet?
We dwarves don't mind sleeping on the rock or the metal. So, sorry. I hope you brought a bedroll.
Nope, it'll just be like home.
Vengeance, why do you not have a bedroll?
You don't have a pack with the bedroll in?
Do you have a pack?
You know.
Do you have a blanket?
Why would I need a blanket when it's hot as shit?
Well, and to lay on, So you're not laying on hot metal? No, but okay, whatever.
This looks like a nice place to lay against that.
I'm already taking off my armor. I'm not fucking sweating through another uniform.
True.
Hey, Anthony.
Yes.
So I have a dwarven family signet ring from like forever ago. And I don't remember what family it was from. We found it in like underwater cave or something like that,
We found it
all the
in
way
river
back.
paintings on the mountain searching for the children inside the cave.
You sure did.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that one.
It was
You know what?
It was perched on the hand that was stuck in the rubble
Yeah.
at the bottom.
Right.
You know what, Ryland? Inspiration point for
Yeah, that was
having
good.
it on point.
Nice.
I remember
Fucking
my
memory.
caves.
He has his notes
Well,
pulled
no,
up
I don't.
next to him.
I don't. I just remember that because Seven yelled at us for trying to push him through the hole to the other side, and that's where we found
I
the
remember
laser
that.
fires.
Yeah, holy shit. We fucking wrecked those spiders, though. I remember that.
Never again.
Yeah, the worst spiders.
Yeah. Were very cool.
I imagine now Anthony's just gonna wait for the opportune time to just make an all spider dungeon.
But yeah, so the reason I bring it up is I'm curious. Do we remember what family that was related to? It was like to a family from like the Four Winds.
Do you guys remember?
Kevin,
I'm asking because I
lore
genuinely
master.
I have no idea if I even gave you a name associated with that that ring.
Let me see. Because that's when we were still keeping a fairly good Excel document of things we found and people we met. Loot. Nope, it just says corroded ring. Dwarven.
All right.
Mm.
If it was Torgrin, I was gonna give it to the matriarch, but I guess I'll just hang on to it in case we ever go to the Empire Four Winds, and then I'll give it to someone else. I'll just start wearing it around.
See if somebody.
A bit of bling. Yeah.
Also, just want to say while everyone's taking the rest, I'm about to do a ritual of commune. I'm going to send you a couple questions here, Anthony.
All right.
Are you gonna tell the rest of us?
Nope, he's gonna whisper them.
Privy to my discussions with my god?
All right, fine. The last time we didn't all talk about stuff.
No, this
I
is
mean,
commune. This isn't sending. I'm asking questions.
Everybody get to your nap and post.
As you guys are kind of posting up, trying to find the most comfortable place you can, stripping out of armor when necessary, the aged dwarf over here approaches Nimue, and she says, "I can sense something in you, a certain loss, dare I say. I see it in your eyes."
It's really shaken me. I've lost a part of myself.
Yes, I can sense that there is a piece of you that's not quite right. I have certain magics at my disposal. They can't help with your loss, but perhaps they can help to heal a part of you that is hurting.
Please do. The part of me that I've lost, she, like, I don't feel, my emotions, like, slipping away from me. She's, I would try magic. Please.
She just nods and she says, "You don't have to explain. Just know that whoever it is that you've lost, her spirit is still out there in the tides.
You really?
So she isn't truly gone. And let that put you at peace, at least for now." And she is going to cast Greater Restoration
Oh, shoot. Thanks, girl. Jeez.
as she restores the damage to your wisdom.
Yay.
And on top of that, for gallivanting all over the realm of the Fey Queen, for facing the manifestations of the Fey Queen, as you did back when you found the giant in the mountain, for exploring, finding your way into Laimodnum, past an entire army encampment, and down into the depths of this dungeon. You guys reach level 12.
Nice.
I was dreading this level. I have no idea what to do.
Oh no.
Oh,
I was like, I just
damn
hope we stay at 11, so I never have to decide.
this is the worst level. I hate 12th level.
With everything that's happened with Nimue, am I still an astral monk?
That's a good question.
And if we're going story, we could choose different subclass. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I vote that you're now a level 1 warrior.
Right, just start all over.
Jesus.
Stripped of all of her abilities, including all of the ones that had nothing to do with her quarry.
Yeah.
That's a question, Scarlet, that we'll have to
The gun.
we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll think about that in
Cool,
the
cool.
intervening week, how we want to handle that.
I like the story. I like the idea of Nimue struggling with losing her, like, half of her soul. And the core is supposed to be like their emotion and stuff, and
But yeah, I don't know. We'll let me think about that. In the meantime, I'm also going to try and answer Kevin's questions
They're just yes or no. It's easy.
that he's not sharing with anyone. Let me. I have to re-familiarize myself with Commune. Every time you cast one of these, there's like 5 different spells that do slightly different versions of answering questions, and I have to make sure I'm remembering the right spell. Let's see. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient. Awesome. So I don't have to tell you anything.
No, 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 and no.
This is literally just yes or no, right? Except it could also be unclear, or it could be a short phrase if yes or no would be unclear, which seems like it is going against its own wording, but one word answer would be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest. The DM might offer a short phrase. One! Good job, Vengeance.
I didn't know it actually changed anything. They literally hit. I saw a roll and I was like, "Is that the? Do you do roll or average for the HP?"
I think we've been doing average, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it there then.
The average comes out slightly in your favor anyway, so. Let's see.
I really don't know what to do either, man.
Did you think of all of the riddles and challenges you'd be facing tonight? What to do with 12th level would be your biggest?
A little bit. Could either get 20 strength, or I could pick out a super cool feat.
that is a super hard decision. Sit and ask myself if a 4th level in Ranger would be worth the ABI or feat.
Hey, there you go.
You know?
It's so quiet.
It is quiet.
All right, I have to go disassemble a wardrobe, so I'm gonna do that. Or well, 3 wardrobes anyway. Love you guys.
All right, yeah.
Hey, brother.
That's how we're wrapping things up for tonight, I suppose, as you guys are working on your level ups, and I am preparing for the next fight. So that works out pretty well.
Oh man.
Have fun with your wardrobe disassembly.
Oh, it's
And
the best.
I am really curious to hear about how things went last week. Did you guys end up doing a one shot?
Oh man, I wish. It was my bad. I had something that I had set up in what's that thing, Forge or whatever,
Oh yeah.
and it was something I had set up for a previous campaign. But when I went to relaunch it, it took me a while to get it running again. And then when I gave people the URL, they couldn't connect. So there must be something different about my network settings here that nobody could get to my Forge server. So
That's unfortunate.
yeah, so we didn't end up playing, which sucks.